to this final plenary for the OER19 conference. If you can all find a seat, we're ready to have the final session. And I'm really delighted to see so many of us have made it through 2 days and 130 sessions, so I think we should give a big round of applause for everyone. The biggest OER conference I've ever been to definitely required some staying power, so I think we're in for many more surprises for next year. In case you haven't had enough of each other yet and you want to continue talking, you, your family, your friends, including all children and relations, are welcome to join us for a very friendly and very open evening at Anpukan, which is a really lovely place to get food, drink, but also just to chat from 6 o'clock. And I think I'm right in saying that Catherine and Laura will be there to hopefully celebrate with you a wonderful conference. Now, before we start the last session, we have an exciting prize giving, and I'm looking forward to welcoming Frances Bell and Lorna Campbell to tell us all about who won the Femme EdTech Prize. So please put your hands together for Frances and Lorna.
So we had a little competition for the best post by a vague time today. But, we got some really interesting responses. Perhaps you'd like to say a bit more about them.
We had such a wide range of responses that it was really difficult to pick one. We had everything ranging from, we had GIFs, we had stories, we had pieces of writing, we had people who engaged with the questions that we posed in very direct ways. We had other people who raised their own thoughts and reflections. So there's already a whole range of writing there. So it was really hard to pick just one. So I'll pass over to Frances now to announce our winner.
Yeah. So our winner is Therese Lawler Wright, who is not in fact at the conference, but she grew up in Galway, and she lives in the northwest of England now. But she did a really interesting post that answered all 6 of our questions in one post, so it was very good. And this is the book, and I can highly recommend it. So it'll be going to Therese, but feel free to buy your own copy.
And now comes the final time that I've got the privilege to ask Laura and Catherine back on stage. But before that, I just wanted to make one personal remark, which is that, with a year in the planning, conferences like that, and with so many volunteers, take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to actually make happen. But then somehow the 2 days of, 14-hour days and text messaging at 1 p.m. about travel arrangements, they just are over in 3 seconds. And so I'm always kind of sad because I never really wanted to end at all. So if you hopefully can show your appreciation for Laura and Catherine, and we're introducing them as co-chairs for the final time.
So many thanks. So many thanks. Once again, I'd like to thank the committee who did all the hard work of getting the program together. Many of you are here, and we certainly didn't do this alone. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much again to the committee and for your contributions. And of course, the conference wouldn't be the conference without the participants. Somebody asked me, did you plan the keynotes together? Because they just told a coherent story and they built on each other, and of course we did. Yes.
Of course we did.
So a special grateful thanks to our amazing keynotes who brought such richness and different stories and different perspectives and so much heart and intellect and mind and soul to this conference. And a special thanks, of course, to the presenters. It's an incredibly, Myron was talking about it being a bigger conference. It's also a really diverse conference in terms of the levels of engagement, the kind of student views, academic voices, the learning designers, the policy makers, the national, the institutional, the different perspectives, and they all wove together. And it's been a wonderful experience to be part of it. So thank you very much can we have a round of applause to everyone here? And then we have to say thank you to the inevitable health team, one of whom is not here because she's sick, but she gets a flower given anyway, all the way from Cape Town. And thank you, and I'm handing over. And of course, more thanks to our sponsors who gave in kind and gave in cash and were very much part of the conference as well. So thanks to our sponsors. They don't get a round of applause, but maybe they should, yes.
Do I have to speak now? That's okay. I recounted a story a couple of times in the run-up to the conference and also here at the conference that I think is really significant. And so I'll just share it now. And that was a moment at the end of OER19 in London, in a pub, as it happened. And I was around a table with co-chairs, as it turned out. Martin Weller was there, who was the co-chair of OER15. Lorna Campbell was there, co-chair of OER16. Josie Fraser, OER17, and Viv Rolfe, who was a soon-to-be co-chair for OER18. And I had no idea that I was going to be a co-chair for OER19. And the conversation was around the fact that the conference was so special and that each OER conference moves significantly beyond the one before, but is only possible because of the ones that went before. So Laura and I all year felt that there was this legacy of work that has continued from the first OER conference to now. So we very much felt like we were holding it for the year and we will pass it on generously. And so whether this is your first OER conference or your 10th OER conference, I hope that you have found it to be inspiring and rejuvenating as we have, and also that you'll come next year to OER20, wherever that will be, because what happens at the conference is important, but all the seeds of conversation and collaboration that happen at this conference will go on through the year. And we won't know about many of those things, but we know that they're going to happen. So thank you all for that. The power of recentering is something that we keep coming back to as the theme of the conference, but it's been evident in so many ways, in all of you who are here, in the fact that we're having this conference on the periphery of Ireland, which is on the periphery of Europe, in our keynote speakers, in what was shared, what was said, all the different ways that we have tried to walk the talk of the theme that we chose for the conference. So some of the most rewarding feedback we've had about the conference has been a few people who said just that they feel that we collectively have walked the talk around the theme that we chose. So much appreciation for that, because really what we do as co-chairs and the organizers is create a space, and then you all come in and fill it and make it. So you've made OER19 most definitely. And Laura wants to say a few more things.
I've been very struck over this conference by the number of metaphors that have permeated the discussion. And if you look on Twitter, I was not short of examples. I wasn't in the session where people were talking about regenerative fires. I'm most intrigued by that one. But apparently you burn it down to build it up again. And of course the raven opening the world was a very powerful one that we heard from this morning. And then we had a lot of gifts around dogs catching cars. Some of you were there and some of you were not, but that was all about open education. And does the dog catch the car? Forests came up a lot, and so did rivers. And those were actually wonderful and very powerful. And then right through the conference was this notion of weaving. I heard weaving so often. Weaving and quilting and mosaicing. And these discussions have been rich weavings and quiltings, and there's something very special about that. And the one theme that has come up through so many descriptions of difficulty has been this theme of hope. And people have described it in lots of different ways. And we heard about hope being a discipline. It was very powerful. But one of the most extraordinary things that happened is that Catherine and I were thinking about what we were going to say. And it was really, really peculiar because we both separately thought that we wanted to end with this quotation. I mean, this is quite weird. But there we are. So we're both going to read it because we really both decided this was the thing to end with. And this is Rebecca Solnit. Hope is not a lottery ticket that you can sit on the sofa and clutch feeling lucky. Hope should shove you out the door because it will take everything you have to steer the future away from endless war, from the annihilation of the earth's treasures and the grinding down of the poor and marginal.
To hope is to give yourself to the future, and that commitment to the future is what makes the present inhabitable. Thank you all.
I'm not quite sure what to say to follow that, because hopefully for all of us this is a very a special moment. And so I think we're just going to have a moment just pausing and enjoying OER19 for one last final moment. But what's in store for OER20, you think, if you're thinking to get ready? Well, much of it is still on the wraps, but we do have one early announcement. As you can see, our conference has grown massively as our community has grown, and we want to make sure that next year we plan for a bigger, maybe even more challenging and critical, but certainly, hopefully, more valuable OER experience still. Catherine, what you said is right. Every conference moves us on, and hopefully next year will be the same. But who will be at the helm of hopefully shaping that vision? Well, here is who is going to be working with us next year as we welcome. So it's a very exciting announcement, and it's so hot off the press that none of them were able to make it in Galway quickly enough. So I hope this leaves you with even more hope for the next year as we come up. And it just leaves me to say thank you on behalf of everyone involved, and thank you for helping making it happen. So for one last time, this is OER19.
killer sperm, blue and humpback. These are some of the whales of Galway Bay. Come see these beautiful, intelligent creatures hire Pigoggy Webster for all of their academic projects. That thing they do with the tail, that's them dancing in happiness at another successful project by Pigoggy Webster. You're not going to need a bigger budget. You're going to need PigoggyWebster.com.